question.
Yeah.
As the Vice President begins her battleground state travels this week, many Black and Brown Americans are still looking to learn more about the Vice President, particularly her work here at the White House. And given that, can you speak to the role the Vice President has played in advising or crafting some of this administration's signature equity policies, whether that be Justice 40 investments in infrastructure and climate, or investments in Black businesses, et cetera?
I mean, look, they're partners. The president and the vice president have been critical partners. They are. They're partners in everything that has been done come out of this administration, the Biden-Harris administration. And you just mentioned a few things, right? You think about the CHIPS and Science Acts, the bipartisan infrastructure legislation, the PACT Act, all of these important critical legislation, the American Rescue Plan, Inflation Reduction Act. Those are legislation that she was very involved in. And at the center of those historical piece of legislation, you had equity. Equity was always at the center of that, making sure no community is left behind. And so she's been at the table. She has been giving voice to these critical decisions that they both made together. And they recognize that advancing equity is a generational commitment. That requires sustained federal leadership. That requires to make sure that we partner with our communities as well. And so this is something that we are going to continue to do. We talk about the next 5 months. Obviously, this is something that this president and the Biden-Harris administration wants to continue to do and uphold. I mentioned today how the Vice President called today a day of action because it is an anniversary of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And so we are acutely aware. We are acutely aware of what's going on. And that's why the president on day one signed that executive action.